And it was one of those situations I can't get one piece of ID without having the other. And at the time, I was just too frustrated to even start the process. So the people at the Backpackers Inn wanted a passport. I had my temporary passport with me, but in a city of Victoria in 2003, where it was a rare thing to see one black person in a month, the person at the counter was a black person. A black, not just a black person, a black woman, a black young woman. And she was willing to help me out. So she used that passport, and because I didn't have a credit card, I had to pay security deposit and stuff like that. But I got there, and then she told me that they have a program there called Work for Stay. That if you work a few hours during the day, you got it. It ensured that you had a bed in a dorm for a night. And it so happened that one of the young women in my dorm was the person who was currently doing the work for stay. And she was going to be going away for a few days. And so if I was interested, I would meet her and talk to her. So that was kind of like a relief. And I remember walking in, and the same time while I was walking in, there was a young man coming down the stair who was very helpful in helping me get my bags up because I think I was on the third floor or something. But there was something about him that was very, sometimes you meet somebody and you just connect with them right away. We didn't say anything, but there was this like total connect. And so I went up to the room. I was there for a little while, and the young woman came in, and we spoke, and so we bonded. Before the end of the night, I found out that the young man that I met with her friends, that I met downstairs, they were buddies. I also found out that she was born on the 4th of January, just like me. This was about the 12th of January, so we both had birthdays not about a week previously. I also found out that she had a cat that was black with the little tuxedo on that she called Bootsy, and I had a cat like that that I used to call Boots, and it was like freaky. So here I was from not having a clue to having someone who is familiar with Victoria, herself in vulnerable circumstances, so is very open to me. And I have a place to stay. I have the means to stay for a little while. And I was there.
So, and then so how?
I think a little less than 2 weeks. But even within the time that I was there, I think the same weekend that she was away and I was doing the work for stay, another young woman came all the way from Sweden who was born on the 4th of January. From Sweden, who was born on the 4th of January. We're all in the same room. 4th of January people in the same room. Oh my God. So I really felt like I'm aligned. I felt very aligned. And When the point came that I did not have the resource to stay, that same young woman was helped me transition into a women's shelter in Victoria, and then she I had, and it was I felt in place. The shelter, I chose to look at it optimistically. I had a roof over my head. I was physically safe. I had meals. It was a beautiful heritage building that overlooked that you can have a view of the ocean and the mountains. But the women were really hurting.
So how
Felt I was at that shelter for 3 months, which in itself is unusual because you are only allowed to stay for a week, then you have to leave and come back if you choose to after. The first, I remember the first day I walked in, the two women that were on call, one was just not long ago from Toronto, Christine, and a Diana. So again, I felt connected, and they really took a special interest in me. One because of the similar name, and the other because I was from Ontario too. And I remember when the time came that they couldn't allow me to stay anymore. Christine said to me, she said, Diane, you don't have to worry. You'll always have a home in Victoria. She said you have a good energy and not a good energy. She said you have good karma in Victoria. That's what she said to me. By that time, within that 3 months, I have had found this place called Anawim House, which is a day home for people with low income and homeless. Uh, what they offer is an opportunity to do your laundry, have showers, get change of clothing, toiletries, and stuff like that. And depending on how committed you are, you have the opportunity to participate in preparing meals, in gardening, as much as you are willing, or as little as you're are willing to.